Well, good morning. This is Justin Ford at IAMS and in the life insurance and long-term care division here. And we'll be going through and some tactical ideas here with Mr. AJ Stafslien from North American in a second. But I did want to cover a couple items here as we have a diverse audience with us as always. We have some representatives and partners that have been doing business with us for some time. Appreciate everything and your partnership. In addition to that, we also have new individuals that may be on the call just as referrals, and I want to be able to cover two different updates as it relates to services we have at IAMS for both parties. Again, thank you for your business. Thank you for taking the time if you're checking us out. And if you have questions on anything that we are about to cover, please contact your marketer or your primary contact at IAMS. And if you don't know who your primary contact is, by all means, give me a call and I'll help navigate you to get the answers that you need here. So as we do have a diverse group of individuals in our room here, for those of us that are new, if you're looking at IAMS, taking a look at us for the first time and liking what you see, one of the things that we do in the beginning of our relationship is we understand that to really get to know an IMO, to truly make a decision whether or not it's the right home for you, really it comes down to submitting a case. Going through the process, working with us through the case, that would be, of course, beneficial for both parties. But in the end of the day, we've all been around shopping. Until we submit that first case, we really don't know the soup to nuts of the whole thing. So when submitting new business with us, we'd like to incentivize that as soon as possible in the beginning of the relationship so that we can move forward to help with growth and partnership from a collaborative standpoint. To do that, we have incentives. So different levels. We can get you a copy of this if you have interest in making additional money for submitting your first cases with us, or iPads, cash, assistance with running your next seminar, monetary assistance there. Please give us a call, talk to your marketer at IAMS, and let them know that you would like to hear more about the new Producer Builders program. Essentially, at the 100,000, these are annuity numbers posted on the board here. We do have life numbers as well. But for a $100,000 submitted case, everything from a 1,500 piece postcard mailing, iPad, $750 in cash, or we can go custom depending on what your practice needs. And again, we're going to do that at 250, 500, 750, and $1 million. And we're looking at the first period of time with us, the first 180 days on board with IAMS. So again, if you have a question about the new Producer Builders program, or you're new with us, or looking at coming on board and you'd like to see how this would work for you to offset some of your operations expenses as it relates to marketing, give a call out to us. Myself would be happy to help, or your primary contact here at IAMS. In addition to that, we are a collaborative sales organization. Ideas, same thing we do every Monday. We have the webinars from an educational standpoint every Monday. We are currently, we have 2 academies scheduled. We're getting back to face-to-face meetings. We'll do this, we'll be talking about that here in a second. And you really can't put a value on picking up ideas from other individuals. AJ and I who will be speaking with me in a second, we're just talking this morning. And it really comes down to the value, I believe, in others, the value that you provide and the ideas that you share as a group, and the wisdom of the crowd. Being able to take those ideas, steel sharpening steel, and discuss them, be able to see how they integrate in your practice if it's working for somebody else. So we'd like to do the same thing. In order to do that, we'd like to work with more great people like you. For those of us that have been with IAMS for a while, or those that have joined us, we do have a way to compensate you for bringing on people that you feel are like-minded and that would need our services based on everything that you've seen. So we don't pay you once, we pay you 3 times. So when you first refer an individual, we'll do all the work, introduction or referral. My staff, my team, myself will take care of contacting the individual and getting them on board, making sure that they have a good experience like you did. And when they license, you're going to, when they contract with one carrier, you're going to get $50 and one-time bonus. When they write their first piece of business, you're going to get $100. And in addition to that, you'll see here it says thousands. As that producer ends up continues to write, we're going to, out of our pocket, not theirs or yours, we're going to pay you compensation on their ongoing submission of business for single premium life, indexed annuities, target life premium, as well as multi-year guaranteed annuities. So if you have a question about the referral program, where you have someone that you think may be a good fit that we may be able to partner with and help, and that could add some wisdom to the crowd for all of us, let us know. Give a call out to your primary contact at IAMS, myself, Justin Ford, if you don't know who that is, or your marketer. And we'd be happy to get you registered for the program and show you how that goes so we can get that individual set up in the system. Again, this does not tie them to your hierarchy. It does not come out of your cash, excuse me, or theirs. That's IAMS paying you for bringing on like-minded individuals. That's the way we've been able to grow in the past, and that's the way we'd like to grow going forward. So appreciate the referrals that you have given. Let us know if you have questions about the Business Builder program with our referral bonus program. So now we get into the goodies. Once we submit a case or we've referred somebody and they're working on a case, again, something you can't put a value on is back office support. As an annuity wholesaler for 18 years, I worked with my fair share of insurance companies, and the ones that I leaned towards in times of toughness were, quite frankly, the ones that had the best back office support. You know how it is. You can get somebody live every time you call. And you know the companies that don't quite do that, where it's very difficult to get a hold of them, and it gives a poor impression. And in today's busy world, we all need someone we need to be able to connect to. So at IAMS, we pride ourselves on our service. We have a 2-ring guarantee. When you call in at IAMS, you're not going to get voicemail. You're not going to get that type of bounce around to different departments. Everyone here, from the president to the partners, all the way down to someone like myself, works by picking up the phone when you call in. So you always get a live person when you call into IAMS. In addition to that, when you submit your case, we have got a stellar back office staff on the life insurance submission side, annuities as well. Each one of our case managers focuses on a unique or a couple unique carriers, 2 or 3 insurance carriers, so that they can get focused on that carrier, build a relationship with the processors, as an example, at the carrier, and be able to get information adequately from them when they're working on your case. We do that on purpose so that they can form those relationships, so that they can help us better in the field going to issued, so we can get back to working on that next prospect. In addition to that, we do case design for annuities and life insurance, retirement income planning, long-term care insurance. Myself and Jess Riley handle our long-term care insurance here at the office, whether that be standalone or asset-based long-term care. So if you're looking at a client's plan and you're uncovering different risks that they're facing in retirement and you're looking for solutions, give us a call. It's more than just illustrations. We'd be glad to bounce around an idea or two with you. We work on tons of cases throughout the day across the nation, and we've run into unique situations that you may be facing now. We'd be happy to share that. Again, it's a collaboration. Forms at your fingertips. You'll be able to get everything you need to submit business here, or e-applications, which we'll talk about in a second. And essentially everything holding the process, taking care of your business from submission to commission. And in addition to that, expertise, coaching, and back to collaboration again. How can we assist you growing your practice? What are some of those challenges that you're facing? What is it that we may be able to line up and assist you with as it relates to resources? That's the way we'd like to form a relationship, rather than just being a spot to distribute and take override and write quotes. In addition to that, I forgot one thing here. When it comes to contracting, when you do come on board, we do use one of the cutting edge services here as it relates to licensing. I remember fax machines and sending licensing back and forth and missing signatures. We don't have to deal with that anymore. We now use SuranceBay, which makes it very simple to license in multiple states, get your information in. Once you type in everything and come on board with IAMS, it makes getting appointed with a new carrier as quick as you can snap your fingers, essentially. So once we have all your information in the system, you won't find yourself having to provide that information over and over again, and we'll keep track of it for you. So those of you that have staff that are doing that right now, maybe you come from the securities world, this is something that we do for you. So ask us about licensing. If you have a question, ask your primary contact here at IAMS. In addition to the digital age, we have the access to Firelight and iGo. Firelight primarily is our annuity e-application system that's available right through IAMSinc.com, our website. You can click on it, submit an annuity application, excuse me, cash case, limited not in good order, or actually eliminates not in good order applications. And when you submit the case, your time to get commission paid is faster. The processing is instantaneous. It's sent up to the carrier. If you haven't registered to be set up for Firelight yet with us, I urge you to talk to your annuity contact here or your primary contact at IAMS. We'll get you set up, share with you some further detail, but we need to get you registered so you can be set up through our site. Just let us know. It's a really quick process, and we'd be happy to help. As it relates to IGO, most of our life insurance business is processed through IGO, which you'll see on our website as well, right underneath Firelight at the top of IAMSinc.com. And if you have any questions on the submission of life insurance business, let us know here on the life insurance team at IAMS. New carriers are coming on board every day with these services. They really have changed the world. In the beginning, coming on board with insurance companies, technology doesn't always go in line with the insurance industry, and they've moved and worked out all the kinks in Firelight and as well as the IGO program. More companies coming on daily as well. In addition to helping you come on board, write your first case, collaborate ideas on both clients and also your practice, when we do uncover a situation where you are either contemplating enhancing your brand, looking to go into social media and don't know where to start, something as simple as I'm not even on Facebook, how do we get this started? What is LinkedIn? All the way to I use social media currently, I'm looking at a way of enhancing it. Or you may be paying for a service through an advertising or third-party company when you really could be getting it through IAMS based on the business that you submit with us. We do have a fully operational creative marketing team here at IAMS, and they are employees on our payroll, on our staff here working for you every day. And the benefit of that is they're not an advertising agency locally, which is may not necessarily focus on the financial services field at all. And oftentimes when they do, that content that they create in conjunction with you is oftentimes their property, meaning if you leave their agency and stop paying your retainer or stop paying the agency to develop services, you don't get to take that stuff with you. But I'm sure they wouldn't have a challenge working with the next financial advisor that walks through the door and switching up some colors and names. What I'm getting at there is own the material that you have with IAMS. Everything that we create here is yours. We don't hold that as collateral property. It is your material. If you have any questions, or maybe you're looking at adding on an additional marketing funnel to your practice to continue to bring in new prospects or enhance your referral strategy, give us a call. Let us know. We've got services in that arena. We can get you a brochure of all the services that we offer here at IAMS, but we'd love to have a conversation with you on how we can better help you, show you in the community so we can let people know where they can get assistance. So give us a call, talk to your primary contact here at IAMS about creative marketing solutions. Our website. One of the unique things about our website is tools. When you get a login for our website, it is not just a video portrayal of all the marketing that we can do towards you on programs and everything else. We strive to and have, according to others and what we believe to be a actionable website where you can use everything from, you can take a term quote and click a button and immediately have the application pulled up and have an application e-submitted all in the same sitting, even contracting right from our website. You could research annuity quotes, annuity rates, both on indexed annuities, income benefit riders to compare different income benefit riders, as well as fixed annuity rates right from our website. You, in addition to that, have access to single premium life and long-term care insurance product grids, industry links to keep you informed and updated in addition to our emails that we send out and these webinars we do every Monday. And it's always accessible. You can pull an application via paper, print it, pull a product spec, a statement of understanding. If it's 24 hours, you have access to it. Even when the IAMS employees and myself are sleeping at night, you'll have access to get on there and pull everything that you need to. In addition to quotes, also brochures, every form that you could possibly need right from our site. And of course, e-applications as well. When it comes to the retail point of sale standpoint, so as you're working with clients, one of the challenges in our ever-growing constant information world, if you will, is being able to relay a complex topic to a client to a point where they understand the risks that are involved and they don't get hung up in the details. And when you mix compliance and legalese, everything that we have to do with illustrations, it can become very overwhelming for a client to sit down and almost read a prospectus or a insurance illustration that's 47 pages long, and really not understand the process. So what we've done is we've partnered with some of the industry's leading software manufacturers that have packages that we have access. We give you access to here at IAMS for being appointed with us in a writing agent. And what these packages do is they help take that complex topic, take that tax risk or that sequence of return risk challenge, and the annuity or life illustration, and turn it into something the client understands. You know, big pictures, the offset with tax. What would it look like if I funded an IRA versus a Roth? These are things that this software can do and simplify it for the client so that they know exactly what they're getting into, and then we can review the product details. So overwhelm is less of an issue. So if you have a question about utilizing Retirement Analyzer as an example, one of the country's leading income analysis tools, let us know. Let your marketer know here at IAMS. Same thing with Stonewood, which is the Index Universal Life version of the retirement income report, essentially. And in addition to that, as we start to see America spending more than what we're actually making and announcing that they are going to have significant tax changes in the future, we know that Index Universal Life is one of the 2 approved methods for tax-free income in retirement. And as that being said, how do we have a client understand the differences between that, a Roth, and a qualified plan? Stonewood does a phenomenal job there. Ask your life insurance marketer if you have any questions. As we're talking about the client and their wealth picture of their retirement, you may also consider you may have an interest or may be currently studying for your 65. If you're looking at whether you're an RIA now and you're wanting to step away and become an IAR underneath somebody, just to step away from that compliance, expense, and obligation, or if you're wanting to test for the first time and don't know where to go, and everybody keeps sharing with you the barrier of entry to where you have to have a certain number of percentage of assets under management before you can join their firm, or you have to pay in fees. At IAMS, we're able to help with both sides, the experienced investment advisor all the way to somebody who will help you with the testing process from the beginning and coming on board. And it's in our best interest, as you can imagine, to give you a home. We also, at the same time, work with investment advisor reps that are outside of our IAMS Wealth platform here. But if you're looking at increasing your revenue, as capitalizing and having a business that has a valuation tied to it, looking at getting in front of the assets and having a little more control over seeing a client's complete wealth picture and not leaving the money on the table, keeping those clients closer to you because you offer a full range of services and have more of their wallet share, and strengthen client relationships because, again, you're the broker in the door. If you're looking for these type of things, I urge you to give us a call, even if you have questions about should I or should I not, what's involved about getting my 65. IAMS Wealth Management can help. So give us a call. We can get you on the phone with Duncan or any of the folks over in IAMS Wealth Management. Let your primary marketer know that you have interest. Trips. So I told you earlier we were bringing back our training academies here, and to get people back up, we've got one coming up soon here with Athene, and another one coming up in November, partner with North American out in Des Moines. In addition to that, though, we figure we might also throw out some reward trips here. So in typical IAMS fashion, we do not do a 12-month trip like a lot of IMOs do, 12-month qualification period. Instead, we give you 18 months. So if you're looking at joining us, you have an opportunity to get business in. This year, we're going to, I don't know, a little place called Rome, going up to Sorrento and Capri, where you can see some of the best lemons in the world out there, and Venice, etc. So if you have a question about, do I qualify? What are the qualification periods listed at the bottom right? What does that equate to as far as how much business I would need to send in? give us a call. Talk to your primary resource at IAMS. We'd be happy to help, and we look forward to seeing everybody there here soon. Annuity Academies, again, this is the training academy. We have one coming up. If you haven't registered for these academies, even if you're unsure of what your calendar looks like in November, but you want to attend, make sure that you get on the registration list. We do, because of the many people backed up from 2020 where we had to take off, we've got a rather large waiting list on this, and we're going through the qualifications right now with the individuals who have registered for the event. So make sure you register if you have an interest. Essentially rubbing elbows with top producers, hearing from 3 individual producer groups, sharing ideas, strategies, 4 top producers at the event. We're going to be going through a detailed analysis, breaking down an indexed annuity, going through threats and trends within the industry from one of the top organizations in the country, IAMS. And we're going to be going through a lot more. Large case life insurance, we're going to be covering Stonewood that we mentioned earlier. How do we take advantage of this change to the 7702 increase and future tax raises? It's going to be a great event, so make sure that you get registered. Talk to your primary contact today at IAMS or give me a call, and we can get you on the list and get you more information. So without any further ado, AJ, I'm going to give over the control to you, and let's get down to some sales concepts that can potentially get us in front of people that are running into challenges and we may be able to assist with here.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, let me see.
Let's make sure technology works first.
Always a good thing.
All right.
There we go.
So can you see my screen? And it should say Sales Solutions Roadmap.
Perfect, I see it.
Good to go. Well, I appreciate the time this morning, everybody. My name is AJ Stafslien, life internal wholesaler at North American. I have about 20 years in the business. I worked in the MGA space before coming to North American. And when Justin and I were talking about what we wanted to cover today, you know, we didn't want to just cover product because everybody has product. There's many web sessions on product. There's nothing wrong with that. But what we wanted to do was go over a couple different marketing pieces that we've created at North American that can actually help you in your practice, give you some ideas for potential sales concepts that maybe you've never promoted before or you don't know that much about, but you can easily bring to your clientele. So we have 3 separate marketing pieces that we're going to go over today. The first one that we have is called the Sales Solutions Roadmap. You can see it on the screen right now. And if you are familiar with North American on the life side, we used to have something called the Sales Concept Playbook. That's actually what this is. Now we call it the Sales Solutions Roadmap. I'm not exactly sure why we changed the name, but hey, this is where it is right now. So what this does, this will give you some insight on how you can use life insurance based around these 13 different sales concepts that we promote here at North American. And basically what it is it's helping you, the person who might not know, you know, each one of these concepts that well. It's kind of like the Cliff Notes or the cheat sheet, if you will, on how to structure it, how to present it, and then how to illustrate it. All those sort of things, all the little tips and tools that you might need. And ultimately, it tells you what product or products are available that North American has. So I'm going to give you a couple examples here. This is what it looks like. So if you scroll down, there's the table of contents. This talks about each sales concept that we promote that's going to be in the Sales Solutions Roadmap. Sorry, that's a tongue twister. So here's an example. If you scroll down here further, this will break it down by what sort of advisor you might be, whether you're an annuity advisor, life insurance strictly, senior markets, RIAs, P&C, health and disability. This will tell you what sales concepts you can promote easily just based on the clientele that you have right now and what you're accustomed to be doing. Okay, so let's go into the first one. Here's a great example. This is what we call annuity maximization. Here, I'm going to minimize this a little bit. So what this talks about is for those people out there who actually have an annuity, but they really might not need it. Maybe something has changed at this time. They don't need that sort of annuitization in their life. Maybe they really just want to pass the money on to the heirs the best way possible. What they could do is maybe one of two things. They could actually start taking a distribution on the annuity to fund life insurance, or they could actually just surrender the annuity altogether, put it in a single premium into our premium deposit agreement in a life insurance policy to spread it out over time. And ultimately what that's going to do is build up that life insurance, right? That they can pass on to their heirs the best way possible, because tax-free death benefit, really, there's nothing better when you're passing on money to your heirs. So what this will tell you is, you can see right here, here's the concept. Using life insurance to maximize annuity funds, they can provide your clients' beneficiaries with the most value without worry of income or estate taxes. Tells you what sort of financial professional typically is going to be using this. There's the client profile. Typically ages 45 to 85, obviously have to own an annuity. And then it's going to talk about key selling points. The premium paid is immediately leveraged into a larger, potentially tax-free death benefit for beneficiaries. Then on the right-hand side is the illustration design tips. It tells you, if you are in the software, how to design it. Whether you're doing that single premium maybe into a premium deposit agreement, or maybe you're taking a SPIA and you're funding it into the life insurance policy. And then at the top, upper right-hand side, these are the products that we have available for this scenario. We have our custom guarantee, which is a GUL, no cash value. We have the protection builder, which is still that GUL, but also is indexed, so there is potential cash value. And then we have the smart builder IUL. Okay. So again, just sort of recap, you're going to notice that all of these are going to be designed the same. It's going to talk about the concept, the client profile, selling points, design tips, and then the products that we have as well. Well, I'm going to scroll down here and go over a couple more just briefly. So here's a big one that we've really picked up a lot of business on in the past year and a half, is going to be the buy-sell agreements, key man, or executive bonus. What I call those are business sales solutions. A big reason why is because, honestly, they just get overlooked. Last year, when everything was going on with COVID and people were unsure about, having money for retirement planning or whatever it might be, the sales that we were still making were business sales, specifically around buy-sell agreements, because there's so many companies out there that don't have them in place, but they need them. And it can be something as simple as term insurance. So what this is going to talk about is the concept. What are the key selling points? It's protecting all the owners, right? In case something happens to the other owner, some sort of triggering event. Then we have the illustration design tips, and there's the products in the upper right-hand side that we have for the buy-sell agreements specifically. Okay. Again, now there's the executive bonus. That would obviously use our Builder Plus 3. Here's the key person. You want to protect your business from some sort of financial loss, right? And another way of looking at that is, it's some sort of life insurance plan that is going to protect the company that you're involved with in case something happens to a key employee, whether they leave, whether they die, whatever it is. And here's the products that we have in that scenario. And again, the key selling points, how to design it, and then what profile that you're going to use as well for the client. Simple one is going to be client review, right? Anybody can be talking about client review. This just kind of gives you the opportunity to talk to them about, hey, you know what? Here's a big thing with client review, I will say. It sounds really simplistic, but it gets overlooked, is asking clientele about their existing life insurance plans, right? Because a lot of them, they might throw up a roadblock and say, you know what? Hey, I'm good with my life insurance. We don't need to talk about that. A great question to ask them is this. That's awesome that you have life insurance, but is it the old life insurance or the new life insurance? And it makes them think, well, what do you mean by that, right? Well, what that means is, think about all the old life insurance plans up until about 7, 8, 5 years ago, whatever it was. Maybe they didn't have a guaranteed premium for a guaranteed death benefit available. Maybe it was like an old current assumption UL. Maybe they didn't have living benefits on there. Really, living benefits weren't added until recently. So just things to think about when we're talking about something as simple as client review. But this kind of gives you a, sort of a cheat sheet on the things to say, how to build the illustrations and all those sort of things. College funding, obviously that is huge right now when we're talking about index universal life. Accessing the loans, which is going to be tax-free. Okay, Builder Plus 3 is the product you're going to use with North American. Estate planning. There has been a lot of talk about the thresholds being lowered for estate planning, right, for estate taxes. And that can really bring in a lot more families into that scenario that have never had to deal with it before. You can use life insurance to help with that estate planning, take some of the issues that your estate handles, your beneficiaries handle, after you pass away. It protects the legacy by preparing those estate taxes, probate costs, and you're going to help pay off the debts that can eat away at wealth by having life insurance on the front end. So this kind of helps you design all those sort of things. The two products that we have, obviously, are going to be our custom guarantee. It's going to be the protection builder as well. Income protection, very basic, right? Overlooked a lot, though. Something as easy as term life insurance. It's that age-old question: what happens tomorrow if you are passing away today? How do you protect your family? This goes over that concept. Here's the products that we have that you can use as a financial professional. Legacy building, obviously, kind of talked about that a little bit already. Longevity planning, we go over that. Pension max, overlooked. Hey, sometimes it might be better for somebody to have a pension to take the single life only instead of the joint and survivor. Use that remaining money, put into life insurance, leverage it in a better scenario. Retirement planning. When we're talking index universal life and we're talking the ultimate tax advantage solution, this is going to be it. You get tax deferred growth, potential tax-free income, tax-free death benefit, and oh, by the way, there's living benefits built in there. This talks about the key selling points, how to design it, the products that you can use, who you're going to target for that as well, right? You have those people who are high income earners. They actually might be maxing out their Roth, right? They might be maxing out their 401ks, but they still have extra money. They're looking for a tax advantage solution. This is it, retirement planning using IUL. Here's that sort of cheat sheet if you're really not that familiar with using IUL for retirement planning. Smart money, very unique in the industry. This is, some people call it an annuity on steroids, okay? How smart money is designed is we have a product called the Smart Builder with North American where there's no premium load, okay? IULs have premium loads in the first few years that drag down the cash value. The Smart Builder does not have that. So what really we see this used for is sort of like a CD alternative for that lazy or dead money that's sitting in a bank, earning next to nothing in interest and getting killed by inflation. They'll put it in the Smart Builder product, get that instant cash value and liquidity, okay? Plus they get a tax-free death benefit and living benefits. So for somebody who has that lazy or dead money, this is a great alternative. Now, what we do typically, and this is how we see it sold, is that let's say the client has $100,000 sitting there. They'll put it into the Smart Builder. They'll set the death benefit at $100,000 as well. Now, you're probably asking, well, wait a minute, doesn't that mech the policy? Well, really, what does that matter if they're already over 59 and a half? It just taxes out like an annuity anyway, right? Last in, first out. This talks about that concept and how you can use that. So again, this was just kind of briefly going over the concepts that we have and the sales solutions roadmap. Again, you can see this is all structured the same way with each concept. We talk about the key selling points, how to illustrate it, the products that we have, and the client profile and the concept itself. Obviously, we're going to get this to everybody who's on the call. But Justin, did you have anything to add on anything I covered? I know I went over that quickly, but really we just wanted to show this great tool that we have created in North American.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate your time, AJ, on that. On the sales desk here at IAMS, at least on the life insurance side, and then the years I spent working with you guys on the annuity side. These oftentimes are common questions that we receive from our advisor relationships over the phone. In other words, hey, remind me how that works with, Section 162 plans or, buy-sell agreements. It's these little things that nag you. This is your cheat sheet for it. It also can help prompt, and I've utilized it here to help prompt someone what to look further in. When it relates to the annuity, something I would add, and I used to have the statistics on this. I'm sure Tia over at your team does. They're AJ, but bottom big picture nationwide, there are a large percentage of assets inside either non-qualified annuities or annuities that could be qualified or non that were, say it was a variable annuity or an indexed annuity with an income benefit rider added to it. And at the same time that you had mentioned the importance of reviewing life insurance and asking, I think that's a great question. By the way, I took that down. What type of life insurance do you have, the old life or the new? Similar concept here. What we're finding, and you may have run into a client like this, you ask them if they have any annuities or what sources of retirement income, and they identify an annuity that has a income benefit on it. Oftentimes, either the client wasn't aware of how it works or forgot, and they're waiting to turn on income. So I see a large number of individuals that are approaching 65 or had planned to hold on to that as long as they could. And when asked why, they say the longer I hold on to it, the larger my paycheck's going to be, the larger my lifetime income benefit account's going to be. Right there's an opportunity for further clarification as their understanding of the product. One, that account value does not pass on at death. The account value would not pass on tax-free. But more importantly, the longer you wait to turn on those income benefit riders, if they had planned on using it for a source of income, or even just to turn it on because they had to, the longer you wait to turn on, the more likely you are to only pull back a portion, if not exactly what you put in the contract. So you issue the annuity, you put $200,000 into it, and it's got a rather large pension or lifetime income benefit account. But actuarially, your life expectancy is shorter when you go to turn it on. So if you wait till 70 before you turn this on, the challenge there is you've only got about 18 to 20 years, which is usually the break-even point that we set when we look at those income benefit riders out of a contract. So in other words, if you put $200,000 in and your paycheck was $5,000 a year or $10,000 a year, divide that into the total amount, and that's your break-even point. So what I'm getting at is they may need some further education as far as, do we need this income source to turn on? And if we do, what's the best option right now? One would be to shop that annuity contract with a modern contract that may have a higher payout for an older age, with less handcuffs on it. But then in addition to that, you oftentimes find that they don't need the income source, or they're young enough and they would like to see what a taxable or a tax-free income source would be. So a lot of times we will move that contract or move that cash value in the annuity and either create additional death benefit if it was a legacy case, but at least cut the income benefit off if they're not going to use it, or shop it around to get a better payment. But there's just so much to be done by asking what a client currently has. And I really appreciate you bringing up that question about the old life insurance and the new life insurance. Make sure to ask about those annuities too, folks. And if you have a question and are not familiar with annuities, we have a phenomenal team here that can give you the ins and outs of those, review policies, anything that we need to do to help you out there further. But as basic as this stuff sounds, it's as many of you know in the audience, it's what furthers the relationship with the client, and also which helps them avoid significant challenges in retirement. So I think this is great. So for those of you on the call, we'll be reaching out to you a little bit later today, and I'll pass this off to AJ here if you've got more. But we'll get you a copy of this and a couple other tools that you may have there, AJ, too. Just need to make sure you're appointed with North American and IAMS, and we'll go through some questions here in a second, see who would like a copy as well. But go ahead, AJ. I think you had something else.
Yep, I have two more pieces I just want to show real quick, especially if you're really not that familiar with Indexed Universal Life and how to access the policy's cash value. We just created this piece after we launched the Builder Plus 3 because this will tell you the advantages of using the loans, okay? Especially if you're going to be using the variable loans or the fixed participating loans, because let's be honest, the reason why people like it, the allure is because when they take that loan out, it's two things. It's income tax free. And the second part is it still participates in the index. So you're still getting credited on that loaned portion of your money. So I would definitely be reading up on this if you're learning a little bit more about Index Universal Life and how to best utilize it when you're talking about the ultimate tax advantage solution. We know it's tax deferral, right? We know it's tax-free death benefit, but not everybody completely understands using, that cash value for income. So definitely wanted to point that out. And then there's one other piece I wanted to show real quick, and that would be this one. And this kind of piggybacks what Justin was talking about earlier is, right now, honestly, taxes, what I call, are on sale because they are actually pretty darn low at this point, right? Now, we also know that most people out there, like the general consumer, they're heavily weighted in something that's going to eventually be taxed, right, upon retirement. So they're in their 401k or something like that, or they're in a qualified plan, and they have a majority of their money in qualified plans. Well, think about that. Upon retirement, when they start drawing down on that, that's a pretty big tax burden. So why not take advantage of that right now where taxes are on sale and take some of that money and put it in, make it non-qualified, put it into an Index Universal Life because it's the ultimate tax advantage solution. It's funded with after-tax dollars, right? Tax-deferred growth, tax-free income, tax-free death benefit, and has the living benefits. And that's what we really like to focus here on, managing your tax allocation. Because again, what I say is taxes are on sale right now. You definitely want to take advantage of that, especially for those clients who might be heavily weighted in qualified money. This piece will actually help them. You can give this to your consumers. And if you notice down here at the bottom of this piece, you can put your name on this. Name, phone, email, all those sort of things. So you can customize it. But again, we just like to focus on the ultimate tax advantage solution using Index Universal Life. So you can use that accessing cash value flyer. That's more of an educational piece, but you can use this when you give this to your potential clients as well.
That's a great piece too that we use and have the ability to pull off. Over the years, you guys at North American have really done a great job in mine and others' opinions of adding these actionable sources on your website. Once somebody is appointed, AJ, with North American and in partnership with IAMS, where do they access the information that you're looking at here? Because
they actually can get it off NorthAmericanCompany.com, but we actually have something called the Marketing Toolkit that has everything that you would need on without logging into our website. So Justin, I believe I probably sent you the link for the Marketing Toolkit. That can go to anybody.
Oh, that's great.
So that will go. You can access all the product information you need, all the sales concepts. We have everything on our e-app, our accelerated underwriting. Everything is on the Marketing Toolkit.
That's great to mention. And if you don't mind, resend me that link, AJ.
Sure,
I will
do.
For those. Thank you, sir. I'll make sure that the team here, my staff and myself, will include this for those of you that are set up and we'll be talking to today if you have interest, because that is handy to have, to not have to log in and navigate a website, and it is really well done. There's a lot more tools out here like this. I can see us doing some additional hosting in the future, but appreciate it. As an insurance carrier, you don't always have to do these things, but it's very good to know that the number one within the IUL market is providing these items to help advisors. I use a lot of these myself, so thank you, AJ, for your time on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So with that being said, if I know you've got more, AJ, but any more today? Are you good?
For today, these are the three pieces I wanted to cover. I know it's a lot to sort of digest. because it's three very powerful marketing pieces. But I would say take your time and really focus on that sales solutions roadmap. Obviously, you're not going to jump into every sales concept that I showed you, but look at the ones and focus on the ones that you think that you can bring to your clientele instantly. It's obvious a couple of them can work with any sort of client you have. Client review, income replacement, right? Those are ones that can work with almost anybody. Retirement planning. We're talking about diversifying, right? They're heavily weighted in qualified funds. Look at retirement planning using the IUL. So those are three that I would just focus on, because you can talk to anybody about those. That's going to fit the bill for pretty much any of your clients that you have, I would guess.
That's a really good point. You've got those honed down. And I was going to say on the same note, it is a lot of information. And as AJ mentioned, one of the things that we do from a collaborative standpoint with our advisors, when we reach out to you, we're going to be calling you and making sure you don't have any additional questions and going through these. We'll get the items over to you, but then we'll, if it's okay with you, touch base, set a time on a calendar to go through them together. Because oftentimes we can't do it on the webinar here, but myself, Tony, Jess Riley on the team, we've worked with these, and then AJ, we've worked with these documents and likely have additional case studies or stories where it worked, what to look for as an example with the annuities, what is it that you look for on an annuity contract, that would have you say this may be one that we need to evaluate. What's that process? Will it work? We can go through these each with you and formulate a plan and work with you step by step. Because again, we're benefiting when you write the business too. But if we can help you, we may have additional material on each one of them from an IAMS standpoint. So it's all hands on deck. If you have interest in these, we're not just sending them out like everything else on my desktop that gets cluttered. We want to be there to truly help you maximize it if you want us to. So let us know. Look forward to connecting with each of you after the event. I've got some questions real quick here that we're going to start our polling questions. And so if we'll go ahead and begin the first one, which we've talked a little bit about here, but would you like to, and I'll give you a little bit of time on each one of these for those of you to answer, would you like to contract with North American to get access to these tools if you aren't already? And of course, if you already are, we can go ahead and do it. Or do you just want to contract with North American after today's presentation? Please yes or no. And we'll wrap that one up here in about 10 more seconds to make sure everybody can get in on it here. As we go forward. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up here. We'll go to the next question for those of you going forward. And our next one here. Would you like to sign up or register for, if you haven't already, to get on the list for our upcoming Life and Annuity Academies? One of them in November, we're going to be partnering with your team, AJ, with North American, but on the Des Moines side, and get to see the new office out there, going through some in-depth information as it relates to what is it the top advisors do in the field. As a top advisor, what ideas would you like to share and hear from? What challenges? Maybe it's about COVID, maybe it's about how the year is going, but we have a exceedingly large number of individuals signing up for this, so please get on the list. We're looking at having more dates in the future going forward. So. And our final polling question of the day here, and get this pulled up. And this one here. So if you have, after the presentation today, if you have a case or a design, or now that we're talking about it, an idea of how you want to run an idea on how you may want to leverage some of these tools within your practice, and you want some help, let us know. Particularly if you have a case that AJ's presentation kind of jogged your memory or your mind as far as somebody that could value from this, give us a call. Myself, Justin Ford, Tony Butler, Jess Riley. And if you don't know who you work with, by all means, give me a call or ask your annuity marketer, and we can get you taken care of. So if you have a life design that you'd like put together, or an interest in how others are leveraging these, or some branding assistance, let us know. And we'll wrap up the webinar here. Appreciate everyone for attending. Thank you for your time as always on Mondays, and we'll continue to get forward and look forward to seeing you here, hopefully at one of the academies where we can talk and see each other face to face. AJ, as always, appreciate your resource and time, and how do they contact you, AJ, if they have a question for you on North American? Obviously, they know our number here.
They can call me at 701-433-6026.
Perfect. So look forward to connecting with each of you afterwards. Again, we'll be looping back around, but if you have any questions, don't wait. Just call in. We'll get you everything that you need, or you can wait for us to call because we'll be reaching out today. Thank you very much for your time. I think we're going to wrap it up. Have a good one, AJ.
Appreciate it, everybody. Have a great week.